Hello, this is James Mulvany, and today I would like to talk to you about internet radio. Now, I'm actually an expert on the subject, a little bit of an expert anyway. I've been working in internet radio for probably coming up to about 7 years now, and it's not as complex as you'd imagine. Now, maybe you're interested in listening to internet radio stations, or maybe you're interested in actually starting your own internet radio station. Either way, I hope this guide is going to explain a couple of the basics to you and sort of maybe build up your knowledge on the subject a little bit. So let's get started with the fundamental question: what is internet radio? Well, traditional radio, which obviously goes back years and years and years, is sent via the air. So it's transmitted from a physical broadcasting tower over the air in kind of radio waves, and obviously then you'll have a radio tuner in your house where you can tune into a certain frequency and actually listen to the station which is being broadcast over the air. Well, internet radio is a little bit different as it's broadcast via the internet, which kind of means two things. Firstly, it's digital, which means there's never ever any interference. The sound quality is always perfect. It's also available anywhere in the world. Okay, so you don't have to be within the range of the broadcast tower as you would with the traditional radio. It's worldwide. Wherever you've got an internet connection, you can actually tune in to internet radio stations, even if they're on the other side of the world. Now, there's hundreds of thousands of radio stations already online, and these range from kind of commercial radio stations through to people DJing from their bedrooms, through to people running professional radio stations which aren't on, they're not broadcasting offline, they're completely online stations. And then there's also maybe your local radio stations are probably broadcasting online as well as having their traditional radio feed going via the air. And of course, with all of these thousands of different radio stations, it attracts absolutely millions and millions of people who are tuning into these stations on a daily basis. But the thing is, over the past couple of years, internet radio has really started to go beyond the desktop PC. Obviously, more and more mediums are web connected, even so far as saying people's fridges are being connected to the internet, all sorts of crazy things like that. Mobile devices, of course, have really taken off over the past year or so. You can tune into internet radio on your iPhone, on your BlackBerry, if you've got a Google Android phone, whatever you've got. If you've got the internet on your phone, the chances are you'll be able to either download an application to go through different radio stations like a directory, or you'll be able to actually listen into them from your phone wherever you are, at the time. There's also lots and lots of Wi-Fi hotspots everywhere, in cafes all around town, and obviously most people at home now have got a Wi-Fi connection, which boasts a great kind of thing because you can actually buy hardware radio sets now, where instead of actually tuning in to traditional radio stations, broadcasting on FM, they actually connect your Wi-Fi network and they can tune into internet radio stations via your internet connection just using Wi-Fi. And you can literally use these just like you'd use a normal radio set, flick through all the stations. But the great thing about this is there's hundreds and hundreds, sometimes even thousands of different stations to choose from. So internet radio is really going beyond the desktop PC now. It's not just something where you can sit at your computer and listen. You can be pretty much anywhere and be listening to internet radio. So I want to just take you through how it works. There's three fundamental stages. First of all, there's the actual live broadcast. Obviously, I'm speaking to you now, and this voice is going into my microphone, down a cable, and into my computer, and it's being recorded on the computer. In a very similar way, where with a kind of an internet radio station, the broadcast is going down the wire into the computer, and then it's being transmitted from the computer out to something called a server, which acts a bit like a transmitter tower. Okay, so it powers the actual radio feed out to all of the listeners. All right, so there's three steps there. There's first of all the live broadcast, which is obviously sent to the server, which is the transmitter tower for the internet, if you like. And that in turn then sends the broadcasts out to all the people who want to tune in from either their desktop PCs, maybe they've got Apple Macs, their iPhones, Blackberries, Wi-Fi radio sets, whatever. So if you've not listened to an internet radio station before, or perhaps you want to listen to a few more, maybe you've only heard a couple, here's some great places where you can actually find a huge variety of great internet radio stations. Firstly, iTunes and Windows Media Player. These are both common desktop players. The chances are you'll either be using Windows on your computer or you'll be using Apple OS X. Both of these platforms have obviously got iTunes, and Windows obviously comes with Windows Media Player, and both of these pieces of software have vast radio station directories with huge lists of stations to choose from in pretty much every genre you can imagine. Another great website you can visit is shoutcast.com. Now, Shoutcast, again, is basically a radio station directory, and it's also software which you can use to broadcast to radio, and I'm going to get onto that in a minute. But there's a massive list of stations. You can listen to pretty much anything you want via shoutcast.com. There's just so many stations with thousands and thousands of people tuning in at the same time. It's absolutely fantastic. Another great place to go and find loads of different radio stations is a website called radiotower.com. Now, these guys have got, I think it's about 6,000 different radio stations to choose from. Again, an absolute vast quantity of people tuning in and people browsing the site, looking for radio stations, and some really good stations on there too. Perhaps you fancy something a little bit different. Maybe you're bored of listening to the same old thing off your local radio station and you want to spread your wings a bit and tune into some different radio stations, maybe elsewhere in the world or in a different part of the country or specific to a genre of music that you like. All of these websites and obviously media players have got something for you, I guarantee. So check them out and have a listen to some different stations and see what you think. I get asked a lot of the time, can anyone broadcast online? Do you have to have a special radio station set up? Do you have to be a radio professional or have a massive multi-million-dollar or pound radio station going to set up a broadcast online? Well, no, actually, anyone can actually broadcast online. You can even broadcast, as I said earlier, from your bedroom at home. Can be that easy. So if you fancy trying your hand at internet radio, maybe you'd like to start up your own broadcast, either just to a few of your mates, or perhaps you'd like to do something a little bit more serious, we've got a great guide and a really in-depth presentation to give you away for free. All you have to do is head on over to our website, www.easyinternetradio.com. Go and check it out and watch the presentation. I'm sure you'll like it. So hopefully this has proved very useful for you today. Hopefully you've gained something from this. Maybe you're just interested in tuning into some great radio stations. I've just given you some fantastic links to do so. Or maybe you'd actually like to go ahead and start a radio station yourself. In which case, head on over to easyinternetradio.com and check it out. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye for now.